Hi guys, welcome to card number 1 of my birthday card series. I know I've been talking about doing the series for a while now, so I'm finally starting it. I had posted this video earlier, but some of you didn't like the music that I had set to it, so I figured I'd go back and do a voiceover. So here I have papers from the Studio Calico Atlantic 6x6 pad, and I've cut them into these little half chevron shape things. And I did that by making myself a little template. There, you see it there. And I just cut myself a little chevron shape. It's not perfect. I just kind of hand drew it. And then I traced that onto the other papers and then cut them out and then cut them in half. And then I just kind of mixed them together to make them all just each side different. And I've put them all on Pop Dots, and I've inked all the edges with some pumice tone distress ink. Then I have this blue paper. It's got little tiny white squares on it, and I'm going to do some heat embossing on it. I have this flourish stamp. It's by Inkadinkadoo. I think it's called Sketchy Flourishes. And I'm going to use Versamark ink and just ink that up and then stamp it over here on this side. A lot of this is going to get covered up, but it's going to be alright. I just wanted something back there in the background. So I'm using white embossing powder, and I just scoop it up with my paper. That seems easier than using a spoon. And then I'm going to go heat set this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now it's all heat embossed, and like I said, a lot of this is going to get covered up, but it'll be alright. So I'm going to set my little chevron pieces here to kind of see where I want them. I started to take the backings off, but I wanted to make sure I got placement right before I, really committed to putting them down. So you're going to see me kind of fiddling around with how I want these spaced vertically, as well as how I want them spaced on the card. I moved them over toward the middle more, and I didn't really like that, so I ended up moving them back over by the edge. But I mean, it's really up to you. If you decide to do this technique, you can kind of place them however you want. So I think I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and start sticking these down. And a trick for this is, if you have really thick pop dots like I do, these are by Thermoweb, if you put your first side down, the left side, and then when you're putting the right side down, if you actually overlap it just a tad in the middle, it'll kind of shift back a little bit and they'll line up a lot nicer that way. So I didn't do it on the first one, but I did it on the rest of them, and it worked out a lot better. So another thing that you may want to do that I didn't do is pay more attention to how you're lining them up to the edge of the card. I was, having it sideways kind of threw me off a little bit, and so I wasn't paying attention to that, and I was kind of just paying attention to where the middle points were, and so mine slant a little towards the inside of the card a little bit, but it's not extreme, so I'm just gonna leave it. If you're a little more particular about that kind of thing, you may want to do something different. But anyways, so there's that. Then I decided there was just too much extra space there at the top because I had them down a little bit too far, so I had these 2 extra pieces that I decided to go ahead and throw on there. I had already inked them and everything, so I just threw pop dots on and then put them at the top. So now it looks a little more like I meant to do that. Alright, so I know that I want to add some twine, and I'm just trying to decide what color I want, and I like the gray, so I'm going to go with gray twine. First I'm going to stamp my sentiment. This is Hero Art's Butter Bar Midtone ink, and the stamp is by Paper Tray Ink from their Stylish Sentiments birthday set. And I'm just going to stamp this on this white piece of cardstock here, just like so. And then I'm going to trim that down quite a bit, really close to the edges of the words. So I had originally decided on the yellow ink because there wasn't a whole lot of yellow on the card, but then when I added that extra piece of yellow chevron at the top, there ended up being more than I had intended, but it still looks cute. It all works well together, so it's all good. So I'm just trimming this, like I said, really close to the words. And then I think I want to round the corners. So I decided actually to only round 2 of the corners on opposite sides. So I did the bottom left and the top right. And I'm just going to be setting that there. So I need to put regular adhesive on one side and then more pop dots on the other so that it's even with the chevron pieces. And I'm just going to set that there. So it does cover up some of the pattern, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add my twine. So I'm just going to wrap it around 2 times and then tie a little bow at the top. And I'm going to have this off center. I didn't want it right in the middle of the chevrons. I wanted it kind of more towards the right. So that's what I did there. And I'm just going to trim off the tails of my bow here. And then I'm just going to adhere this to the base of my card. So it's a little bit tricky because there's so many pop dots on here, but I wanted to make sure that my twine was underneath that base so that it wasn't showing on the inside of the card. But there we have card number 1 for my birthday card series. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys. Oh, sorry, I totally forgot. I decided to add some enamel dots. So these are by Basic Gray. They're the light pink color. So just added the 2 smaller sizes at the bottom there, and I put that smaller one at the top and I just didn't really like it. So I ended up taking it off and putting not the largest but the next largest one on there. So that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed and try out this technique. It works great for using scraps of paper. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.